Hello there, everybody. I'm mrgameandpie, and welcome to the bonus episode of Touhou Easy Mode. So, during my Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom Easy Mode playthrough, I actually removed all of my failures. It was a bit of a running joke throughout the episode that I was playing perfectly, when really I simply used the point device mode of the game, where it basically just respawns you if you die, and you only lose one power. And I was able to, it respawns you so effectively that you can really just sit there and, edit it so that it looks like you never died at all. Although if you did pay attention closely, you could see that at the end of chapters it says, sometimes that there were a number of failures. Oh man, he had 3 failures, he had 2 failures, he had 80,000 failures. So it wasn't like it was a perfect job, but, I think I did about as well as I could. The only time where it doesn't really work is during boss battles, because during regular gameplay, the music keeps track of where it is in the middle of the level. But in boss battles, the music just keeps playing even if you die. But yeah, so basically here I'm just gonna talk about my thoughts on this series and Touhou in general. So, for a while, I was trying to make Touhou Let's Plays, full Let's Plays of, normal mode. But, I did 10, well, I tried to do 10, and I tried to do 12, and I also tried to do 11. But the main issue with those is that I'm not good enough at these games to play them on normal mode. Or at least to beat them on normal mode. Yeah, I've never managed to beat a normal mode playthrough at all. But then I realized that I was good enough to make it to the end of most of the easy modes without using any continues. But I also knew that if I did that, then the series would be kind of short, I could fit it into a 30 or 40 minute episode. So that's exactly what I did. I just decided to play easy mode. And, I know that there's the whole meme of man, you're playing easy mode? Only little kids play on easy mode because of that one music video that happened for that one song. But really, I do think that most people are pretty reasonable about it. I haven't gotten any complaints or anything. I haven't seen the meme be affecting me at all. Because, the bullet hell shooters are a hard genre. And easy mode is a mode to play the game on. There's a reason it's there. It's for people like me who can't, figure out normal mode. I'm not the kind of person to just sit down and play one game over and over and over and over again. That's why I never get into competitive games. Or the competitive mechanics of games. I play Smash Bros, I play Overwatch, but I never play either of those competitively, because I can't just play one game that often. And the same basically goes to Touhou here. Where, if you really want to get good at a bullet hell shooter, you gotta play the same level over and over and over and over again. It's a lot like a competitive game in that regard. And I'm just not the kind of person to do that. I've got things to do. I've got games to play. But, but I also wanted to make a series on Touhou because, it's a pretty cool series, and I think that it deserves good Let's Plays. So, thus, Touhou Easy Mode was born. And, I still did quite a bit of practice to make sure that I could reasonably play all of the easy modes effectively. Because, I did manage to beat all of them except, one without using any continues. And that one was Subterranean Animism, and that's considered one of the hardest games in the series, so I don't feel bad about not being able to do that one without using any continues. Yeah, here we have Clown Piece. Man, oh man, she is, she's an adventure. Yeah, we're not even halfway through the level yet, and we're already on the Stage 5 boss. Just lets you know how many retries it took for me to beat Clown Piece and Junko. But yeah, I've had fun making this series, and, as I kind of mentioned in the previous episode, or, well, the last regular episode of the series, maybe I'll come back and do 6, 7, 8, maybe even 9 someday if, like, people are requesting it. But that said, the series hasn't been especially popular, so I get the feeling that people probably won't request it unless this just gets discovered by some Touhou fans or something and people want to see more. Maybe in the same vein, maybe I could try to continue doing normal mode if there's enough interest in that regard as well. But yeah, like I said, this series doesn't get a whole lot of views, so this will probably be it for Touhou as far as the series is concerned for the near future. I don't know. Probably whenever the next game comes out, I'll do an easy mode run of that game too. But that'll probably be another year or so down the line, so not really need to think about it. Don't really need to think about that one as of yet. Yeah, for a long time, whenever it came to the Touhou series, I only really listened to the music of the series. I'm somebody that listens to a lot of video game remixes. I mean, like, a lot of video game remixes. It's almost all the music that I listen to is either video game music or video game remixes. And, there's a lot of Touhou remixes out there. I think that one of the people in particular that I saw a lot of remixes for the Touhou games was, what was his name? I think it's like DJ the S or something? I think that's it. And, he makes remixes of a lot of different video games, and he tends to mix different games together in one. And, he had a lot of Touhou songs in there as well. Like, one of the series that he does is like an elemental series, where he'll take a bunch of video game songs associated with a single element, and then he'll put them all together in one. So like a bunch of themes of fire levels and bosses, a bunch of themes of water levels and bosses. And he'd pretty much always have a Mega Man song in there and a Touhou song, as well as songs from a variety of other series, like Kirby, Sonic, Xenoblade. He had some Xenoblade stuff in there. There's some other RPGs, Legend of Zelda, Mario, just lots of stuff. All sorts of video games. And so, from that guy, I learned about, Touhou music in general. And then I started listening to the actual songs from the games, not just remixes of them. But I still hadn't really gotten into actually playing any of the games yet, because one thing is that I'm not really that big a fan of anime. It's not really my thing. And I mean, obviously, oh man, Touhou, my favorite anime and all that. There's that meme. But really, the anime often has a tendency of portraying women really terribly. There's a lot of sexualization and just really dumb stuff like that. And there are elements of the Touhou fandom that really play into that a lot. And that was really the only elements of the Touhou fandom outside the music remixing sections that I was really familiar with. It's kind of like, a lot of people thought that all My Little Pony fans were bronies that were terrible people. And it's like, I mean, I obviously expected that there were probably, reasonable Touhou fans out there, but I didn't really expect there to be that many. But then one day I played the game Rabi-Ribi. And the game Rabi-Ribi is, the reason why I played it was I found it on Steam. I was looking for a good 2D platformer to sink my teeth into. And it's a 2D platformer. And one of the characters is a fairy named Ribbon, a direct reference to Kirby 64. Well, my favorite series is the Kirby series. And I saw that it was a Metroidvania game. And probably my favorite type of 2D platformer is the Metroidvania platformer. So obviously Rabi-Ribi had the whole anime stuff, and in fact it does a whole lot of the anime-related stuff that I don't like more than any game in the Touhou series ever remotely does. But because it was like my favorite genre and it referenced my favorite series, I was like, alright, I'll give this a try. And I had a lot of fun with it. I made a Let's Play of it, in fact. That's how much I liked it. Despite the previously mentioned anime stuff that I'm not really a fan of. Although maybe I should stop saying it's anime stuff. People often corrected me during that Let's Play saying, no, it's not anime stuff, Mr. GamePie, it's otaku stuff. It's like, alright, buddy, alright. It's otaku stuff that I don't like. But, so, the boss battles and characters take a lot of inspiration from Touhou. And so I was like, alright, so you know what, I like the music, this bullet hell dodging stuff is pretty cool in this 2D platformer game, maybe I'll try out a Touhou game. And so, you know, I was like, alright, well, which one do I try? Because there's like 15 of them! Now, these days, there's 16 of them, but I started playing a little bit before 16 was released, like a few months. And so, you know, I said, well, there's this character that's Nazrin, she's like a mouse, that's pretty cool. This Baccarin character has a pretty cool theme, I'll play Touhou 12, that's totally a good idea. Touhou 12 is one of the hardest games in the series, so I mean, that might not have been as good of an idea as I thought, but I still had fun with it, even though it did kick my butt a lot. And then I played Touhou 10, then I played Touhou 11, then I went on to play like all the other ones that you saw in this series. And you know what? It's a good time, and on Tumblr I even found a lot of fans, a section of the fandom that I could really agree with. You know, these are more reasonable fans that don't engage in all of the otaku ridiculousness. And it's a good time, I like it. There's a lot of good content out there, both, you know, official and unofficial. And I guess that is one of the main draws of the series, is it has a lot of really good unofficial content. You know, Zune pretty much says that as long as you're not making money off of it, you can make whatever fan content you want. And yeah, you know, I think it really promotes a lot of creative capabilities and stuff. It really promotes creativity in a wonderful way. I just wish, you know, some other companies would be cool about that. That would be nice. You know, looking at you, Nintendo. Not letting people stream all of a sudden on YouTube. Like, what the heck? But yeah, you know, I've had a lot of fun playing the games these days. And even though the bullet hell shooter still isn't my genre of choice, I suspect that'll always be the platformer. It's still a good time. I've enjoyed myself. And I'm sure that I'll further enjoy myself in games to come. So, yeah, I think that's actually, like, all that I wanted to say, pretty much. Gee whiz, we're not even a full halfway through this episode yet. But yeah, people really don't like this spell card that Clown Piece has. It's really annoying, actually. Like, wow, that's tough to avoid. But yeah, I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that almost half this episode is going to be the final spell card. Because, you know, in the actual playthrough, I end up bombing. Oh, hey, I actually made it through that part. Nice. See, we're just on this part now. Yeah, in the actual playthrough, I ended up bombing through the last part of Junko's final spell card. The only bomb that I used in the entire game, actually. And that's because I had been going through that spell card for a while. Like, man, it just kept going, and it kept going, and it kept going. So eventually I ended up just accidentally death bombing. It wasn't even an intentional death bomb, it was just a knee-jerk reaction to it. And I was just like, okay, I'll accept it, that's what's happening now. Alright, I think, oh hey, yeah, this is Clown Piece's last spell card here. I don't think I had very many failures on this one. In fact, I think I might have only had one failure on it. But yeah, you know, I really enjoyed making this episode in particular. Just sort of faking my way through a perfect playthrough of a game was pretty cool. And, you know, I wish that more Touhou games had a point device mode in it. Because I feel like I can really play the game more effectively if I just can replay the same segment over and over and over again. Okay, I died at, like, the beginning of this level, didn't I? Totally forgot about that. Yep, there we go, that's it! Oh, yeah, and then there's this section. This section is pretty tough. I mean, yeah, dude, like, they got so many bullets falling down, and then they got the stars coming from the sides, and it's just... Man, it is a mess. Yeah, with that said, I don't think I actually have much else to say at this point. Because, yeah, I can't say that I really personally know anybody that's really that into Touhou. As I mentioned previously, I do follow some people on Tumblr that are into it. And I know some friends who know some people that are into Touhou. But yeah, it's not really something that anybody in my friend group is interested in. I think I have one friend that likes the music, and that's about it. So, on my original adventures, initially trying to play the games, you know, I'd tell him about my adventures, and he'd freak out about it. He has a tendency of comedically overreacting to things. And it was a good time. But, you know, the one thing that I'd kind of like to try to do someday is some sort of versus of a Touhou game, where like me and another, I don't know, like 3 or so people race through a Touhou game to see who can beat it the fastest. But I'd want all 4 of us to be of around like the same roughly mediocre skill level, because like I don't consider myself good. I'm a mediocre Touhou player. Oh hey, it's Junko now, nice. But you know, I don't really know any Touhou players, like, personally or even just in general, because, like, most of the time, if you go to look up a Touhou series, it's gonna either be somebody that is really good at the game, and they're, like, getting perfect runs and no hit, no bomb playthroughs of Lunatic Mode or something, or you're gonna get somebody who's never played a Touhou game at all, ever, and they don't even remotely know what they're doing. And I am not either of those people. I'm looking for a mediocre skill set, not the super master that can beat Lunatic Mode, not the person who's never played the game before, but just somebody that can sort of play the game, like on easy mode, a normal mode, and that's about it. So, you know, maybe somebody could provide me some suggestions for content creators to find out there to potentially do a Touhou collab someday. That'd be pretty neat. Yeah, Junko's spell cards here are all about things being really tough to avoid. Because yeah, most of the challenge for most spell cards is figuring out how to avoid things. Junko's is having the mechanical dexterity to actually avoid it. That's pretty different. I don't think that you typically get to something like that until you get to like hard and lunatic modes. Which, man, I have never even bothered playing hard mode and lunatic mode on any of the games, really. Like, I think I tried technically once on, like, a UFO, but, like, I barely made it past the first stage on either occasion. Actually, I didn't make it past the first stage on Lunatic Mode. So yeah, those aren't modes that I ever play, for any reason ever. Maybe one day I'll do a stream of me trying to play Lunatic Mode on different Touhou games. That could be interesting. Oh yeah, this spell card. I have a lot of retries on this spell card, don't I? And that's just... that was just dumb. Yep, there we go. Curvy lasers. I can never quite tell where exactly the lasers are going to go off to. And that results in that part killing me a lot. Because, you know, why move whenever you can just stay in the same place and get killed by the same part of the laser every single time? That's how you play Touhou. Aw, jeez. Man, it's only halfway through the video and we haven't even gotten to Junko's last spell card yet. Oh boy. But you know, I don't think that there's a whole lot of future for Touhou left on my channel. But there is at least some potential for a future for it. But as I kind of previously mentioned, it all really depends on fan interaction for the most part. If people want to see more Touhou, I can do more Touhou. And if people never want to see Touhou again, well, I mean, I can't promise that, but it won't exactly be common. But, you know, a lot of my channel is based off of good gameplay and me knowing what I'm doing. And, yeah, Touhou is a pretty difficult series to make that happen with. But, you know, I feel like I've fairly effectively done that throughout my Touhou Easy Mode series. I might not be some sort of grazing and dodging master, but, you know, I've been able to beat all the games that I've tried to play. And I think that alone is worthy of some sort of commendation. It's a sign of success, that's for sure. Oh yeah, this spell card is really annoying because I always seem to do that. Just the bullets spawn, then I run right into it because I don't stop moving fast enough. Man, I have no idea how people manage to dodge a lot of this stuff on, like, the harder difficulties. It is nuts. Let me guess, I'm going to run into a bullet any second now. Oh, I almost ran into that one. Yeah, see what I mean? You can just... Oh, yeah, there we go. That was it. There were 4 seconds left, and I died. But hey, I mean, I guess now you kind of get to hear Junko's theme without it getting interrupted every 5 seconds, because I finished a spell card and had to cut the footage out to, you know, avoid showing off all the deaths that I had. Because, yeah, I mean, like, the original, you know, Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom video was a little over 30 minutes long, and this is roughly 40 minutes long, so, yeah, this is about an hour-long recording. It was intense. It really was some intense stuff. People consider Legacy of Lunatic Kingdom to be, like, one of the hardest games in the series, and, yeah, there's a good reason why. Yeah, the spell card here is called Overflowing Blemishes. I guess you could say that's actually what this video is. That's the spell card. And with that, we're on to Junko's final spell card. And with that said, I think I'm going to leave y'all off here to watch me fail at this for 15 minutes. So with that said, I'm mrgameandpie, and y'all stay sufficiently awesome.